Right, let's talk about the board challenge. And as part of the board challenge, we'll be talking about a few interesting techniques in JavaScript. First of all, beginners. We have a function, calc, that receives two numbers, 1 and 2, and it just multiplies them. Yeah, easy peasy. So let's invoke it. Calc 3 and 4. What will that function return, guys? 12. Correct. And 7 and 4. What's the result of multiplying 7 and 4, guys? 24. Wrong. 28. Right. Go back, guys, to the books of the school, eh? Anyway, let's ignore the last 30 seconds of the workshop. And then let me ask you something. What happened if we only pass one number? 15. Why 15? Correct. Correct. Here, the way, this is a new technique in JavaScript, very, very useful, but dangerous. And you will see in a minute why this is very dangerous. But anyway, ignoring the danger of this technique is pretty useful, right? Because, yeah.
Is this something that other languages use?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I believe so, yeah. It's been demanded for a while, and now it's finally part of the standard. Yeah.
Basically, people software are asking
Yeah.
to bring something from other language.
Yeah. Remember that today, fortunately, JavaScript is an open world. There is a GitHub project, the TC39 group, which is the Swiss group that looks after the JavaScript standard, and everyone can suggest an idea. Yeah? And then the community will vote for the idea. There are some stages. Stage 0 means you propose something. Stage 1 has been approved by someone. Stage 2, blah. And once it goes to stage 4, I believe, then it will be part of the standard. Yeah? So it's pretty cool. So then you can see, if you go to that group, you can see what's coming next year or the year after, yeah? Because you can see the backlog of all the requests. What happened if we pass 0? What will it return? 0, correct. What happened if we pass undefined? 15, correct. What happened if we pass nil? 0. Why 0? Can anyone elaborate why 0? Null is converted to string, to 0. But we have a default value here, right? It's not picking it. Why not? Let's set a breakpoint. Can you tell me breakpoints, guys? For instance, floating. So what will happen first, Florin? Say it again? So will we invoke the function, line number 6, or will we execute the function? Correct. First we invoke the function, and once we invoke it, it gets executed. So then the order is, should be 6 and 3, right? Let's try that. Excuse me. 6, and then, look, number 2 is null. In other words, that's not working as you may expect, right? You may expect, okay, null is like falsy. It's falsy, yeah? It's falsy. Should be picked by the default. It's not like that. That's a bit unfortunate. That means we're multiplying 3 by null, and the result of multiplying 3 by null is 0, which is a bit exotic. That is what it is, yeah? What happens if I pass an empty string? what will be the result? 0. It's 0 again. Why? Because in JavaScript, multiplying a number by an empty string is 0. Yeah, again, this is completely random. Yeah. So the important thing here is not to understand what free multiplied by an array means, because this is completely, mind-blowing. The important aspect is to note that this variable initialization only works in one case, if the value is undefined. Yeah. Undefined means it's either not provided, like that, yeah, 15, or is explicitly undefined. Yeah, that will also work. Say it again? It's the same, of course it's the same. Yeah. Passing undefined is the same as passing nothing. Yeah, cool. So, yeah, that's the way the default values works. That's why this is a bit dangerous, right? Because if you forgot that, you may pass nil, expecting the default to work, but it doesn't work. Yeah.
But is always that if the num2 is false, that means that it's
No. That's the thing. This is not like an if else. If falsy, no. If number 2 is undefined, it will be reassigned to 5. If it's anything else apart from undefined, null, empty string, empty object, empty array, whatever, then it will, as it is, yeah, as it is. Cool, so that was the first part, guys, default values. Any question? No? Fantastic, so let's have a look. Excuse me, again. Right, so intermediate, this is a bit more tricky, yeah? Because we got the first part is literally the same, number 1, number 2 equals 5, but then we got that. What that means, guys? How many arguments that our function has? 3, that's correct. What's the type of the first argument? We don't know. What's the type of the second argument? We don't know. What's the type of the third argument? Is it an object? Correct. What's the name of that pattern? Object destructuring. Correct. Yeah. So now let's play with that. So let's invoke calc. What happens if we just pass one number? What will that return?
Number 3 or number 4, because there is the default value.
Number 3 by number 4. What's the result of number 3 by number 4? 12. Where is 12 coming from? Why 12?
No, because the example that I used yesterday.
That's over optimistic. That's
Number 3 for number 4.
that's a Jägerbomb answer. Right? No. What?
No.
2 points on the challenge, on the board challenge. Return 5. Don't think so. Why 5? This is okay. True and true. Correct. And then what? A false. Why false? It's nothing there. Right. The result may not be obvious. That will throw an error. Why? Because in order to destructure something, we need to provide something to destructure. Yeah.
And you don't have the num3 equals something else.
We'll see if we can do that. But before that, boom. Cannot destructure property num3. So at least we have to provide an object, even if it's an empty object. Because what we are doing essentially is let value equals foo.num3. If foo doesn't exist, what happens when you try to access a property of an object that doesn't exist? That throws an error. Yeah, that throws an error. That's why it's not working. Then we need to provide something, at least something, undefined, something like that. What will that return? Is the first condition truthy? Is the second condition truthy?
Yeah, empty object. There's nothing.
Empty object. Why empty object? Why number?
There's nothing to should be the last one. So number 3 or for number.
No, wait. We're talking about number 2. What's the value of number 2? 5. Is 5 truthy or falsy? Truthy, correct. So then, whatever comes next will be returned. Yeah? What's the value of number 3? An empty array. Whoa, that's very exotic. Why empty array? Empty array. Number 3 is an empty object. Empty what? Don't forget that in reality, now what we are doing is let number 3 equals empty object dot number 3. Undefined. That's correct, Bouquet. That's correct. Yeah? Because even though at least now we have an object, so we can try our best to access the properties of the object. However, the object is empty. Yeah? So that will return undefined. And what's the result of returning undefined by undefined? I don't know. I don't care. Not a number. Fair enough. Yeah? But that's the way it works. And what happened? What happened if now we pass num3 to num2 to num3 4? What will that return? Error. Why error, Lucia? Why error? Why 8? Correct. Correct. What's the value of number 1? 5. Truthy or falsy? Correct. Let's go to the next element. Now, what's the value of number 2? Wrong. 5. Correct. Still truthy. So keep going to the right. So then we'll return the last part. What's the value of number 3? Why 4? What are you talking about? That's correct. That's unnecessarily complex. Let's simplify it a bit, yeah? Number 3 is 3, number 4 is 4, yeah? What's the value of number 3? 3. What's the value of number 4? Correct. What's the result of multiplying 3 by 4? 12. Well done, Wendy. You get a point just for your tenacity. 12! Listen to me. Yes. I'll give you the point afterwards. Cool, fantastic, yeah. And I've got a question for you. Can we do that? Oh, whoa. Colon. Colon? I'll tell you something. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if we can do that or not. I have no idea. But, so there is something that usually developers tend to avoid, which is answering I don't know. I think it's healthy to say I don't know. Yeah? If you don't know something, the answer is I don't know, but let's try. Yeah? So I don't know if that's supported. I mean, no, we definitely not with colon. Colon sounds a bit weird because at the end number 2 is just a variable. Yeah. So I'll tell you I'm 65% sure that should work. Yeah, 65%. And then let's see if I'm right or not. And I'll add a breakpoint. If that works, what should the snippet return? 6. If it doesn't work, what will that return? I'll accept not a number, also maybe an error. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Boom. It does work. Cool, fantastic. That's awesome. Yeah. Again, I didn't know that was possible, but it's great, yeah. This is one of the beautiful things of modern JavaScript, yeah, compared to classic JavaScript. That language is predictable. Even if you don't know something, if you think based on standards and good practices, yeah, in that case you're right. Cool, so that's fantastic. And now what happens if number 4 is nil? 0. I like that because
We are overwriting the number.
we are not overwriting number 4. Yeah. So then we are essentially multiplying 3 by nil, which is 0. Correct.
So the number 4 is
No, no,
not the
no,
four.
no, 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 no. This is literally what we explain here. Yeah, it's the same example. Correct. Only if it's explicitly undefined. So what will my sexy algorithm return now? 6. Correct. Yeah. And what will my algorithm return now? Okay, so Wendy said 5. There are 2 points on the board challenge for that question.
Maybe now?
B 6. Was that Gawa or Luigi?
Luigi.
Luigi, null.
Yes.
Luigi, Davide, who else? Who is me? Me. Cool. Why null? Luigi?
Because the first argument is truthy,
Correct.
so we'll go through the first one. The
Yeah.
second one, it will use the default value just in case of undefined, or in case of no argument, as you told us. So in this case, it's the first falsy value,
Yep.
and there is an and. The first falsy value is what gets returned, basically.
Yep. So let's compare the second.
It's true, not it's false.
Okay, so Wendy and Lucia said 5. Yeah? Right. So, anyone else? We got Spain versus Italy, and then BBN who disagrees with them all, yeah? Right.
I think it'll be no.
Sorry, it was that Gawa?
I think it'll be no.
So Gawa,
I agree with Luigi and Davide.
correct, fantastic. Yeah, again, let's review that. What's the value of number 1? 5. Truthy or falsy? Correct, go to the next one. What's the value of number 2? 0. Why 0? Why 0 and not 79? Correct, it's null. Is null truthy or falsy? Oh, what happens when you have truthy and null? The first falsy value, truthy and null, return null. Truthy and empty string, returns empty string. Yeah? Truthy and undefined, returns undefined. Truthy and null, returns correct. So if we run that, yeah. So the 2 points goes for Luigi, because he was the first to find the answer. No, of course not. Cool, great. That's important. Why this is important? Because what we learned over the last few weeks about if-else, truthy and falsy is still valid, of course, but be extra careful because that's not exactly the way it works when talking about initialization. It's way more strict. Yeah? Cool, great, good stuff. Any questions so far? No? So this is about object destructuring. So just a bit off topic, but still about the same sort of pattern. I would like also to talk about array destructuring. So before that, you remember what we learned yesterday about, you know, in JavaScript, in React, this dot state dot title. You know, in your render method, you type that like 40 times, yeah, which is still valid. You can create a variable. The variable can be called let title equals state.title, let description equals this.state.description, blah, 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 eh? And then it's slightly better. However, You can do it in one line. Title, description. Yep. Yeah. I'm just recapping a bit, yeah? Right, why this doesn't work? Oh yeah, because let is already there. Do you remember? Let versus var versus const, yeah? Anyway, so that's correct. What do you think, guys, if I got only one variable? What do you think about that pattern? Do you like it or not? Do you see the advantage? I can see two advantages. One I already knew, another one I thought about it literally 20 seconds ago. So the first one is, if you don't have that, right? The classic way is let the description equals this dot state dot description. What happened if now we change our code and the variable is not called description anymore, it's called details? Yeah, you don't have to put it twice. Well, not necessarily, but you know, to keep it consistent, you need to replace it twice. With that pattern, it's extra sexy because you change it once and that's it. Yeah, oh, nice. The other advantage is, yeah, you need a curly bracket. Yeah, of course. Because what happens if you don't use the curly brackets? Correct. Now details is an object. Yeah? With the curly brackets, with the structure, we access the details property. Also, another very sexy thing is, yeah, it's a very nice way to destructure and initialize if the description is not provided. Yeah.
So after super you can do this.
After super you can do this. Yeah, but it's a bit weird to be honest because in super you initialize the state. It's more for render, correct? It's more for render. It looks it looks beautiful actually. Yeah, it looks very nice. Yeah. So yeah, this is object destructuring, and I'm missing a couple of things. And you know, I'll have a look. I'm sure someone already suggested these incorporations into the standard. The first thing I miss on the destructuring world, I'm thinking. So the first thing is nested destructuring. So what happens if our state looks like that? If it's like that, that's fine. Yeah, all good. But what happens if you got that? I'd love to have a way to destructure that. I don't know how, to be honest, but I'd love to be able to do something like that. You get my point? Because at the moment, you need to do that, and then you get the title, you destructure it. Here? Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, but that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense because title of which property? What happens if you got another property called synopsis? Yeah, that doesn't make, you need to name it. You need to name it, definitely. Yeah. So this is not supported. This kind of nested inline destructuring, but that will be fantastic, I believe. The second thing I'm missing, yes, is aliases. Do you remember when we talked about ES6 modules? Import, get user, as. You remember? So you got two functions with the same name, you can rename that. You can rename them. What happened if you got user one name Peter? Let's do something like that. Oh, my E key is falling as well. Cool, fantastic. Thank you, Apple. Cool. So what happened if I got let user one, something like that, yeah? So if I want to access the name, I can do let name equals user one, and then all good, yeah? No problem at all. But what happened, let me put that in line. If now we got user one, I'm sure you know already what I'm thinking about, yeah? And user two. That's wrong. That's wrong. Because I'm trying to create two variables with the same name. So to me, it will be absolutely erotic to be able to do something like that. You get my point, right? Yeah. Then problem solved because I have two variables with different name. Again, that's not supported. And I'll be honest, I have no idea if this is proposed to the next standards, but yeah, something that may be worth to have a look. Or even to propose it, yeah? One of my goals in life is to do some contributions to the standard of JavaScript, yeah? Do you imagine? I already did the slides, I did that. Well, hopefully you wouldn't be that proud if you did that, but anyway, you get my point. Yeah? Lots of the new things are there because someone proposed them. Yeah? Things like promises. One single guy did that, promises, and now it's like a super important in the JavaScript world. Cool, so last thing of the day, what time is it? So let's talk about array destructuring. So again, it's the same principle. So let fruits equals apple, orange, and banana. Why you laughing? Yeah, I know. Yeah, whatever. It always happens. We've been running meetups here with 40 people, apple, orange, and then banana. Some people, you know. Anyway, that's the childish aspect of coding. Cool. So then if we want to access the apple, we can do let apple equals fruits 0, yeah? And then all good, you know. However, you can do that. Yeah. And that's pretty cool because now we have three variables and the first variable will refer to the first element. Yeah. The second variable to the second and the third variable to the third one. Yeah.
If you define more variables than there are numbers,
Interesting. Like pineapple. Something like that?
yes, exactly.
Cool, fantastic. What's the value of pineapple, guys? Correct. Look, undefined, yeah? But it doesn't throw an error, so at least it's not too bad.
Exactly. So if you did not call pineapple, you call correct.
Correct, yeah. And also, can we initialize variables like we did with the objects? That would be fantastic, right? Can we do that? That's a very sexy pattern. I was 65% sure that was going to work with objects. Now I'm 87% sure, right? So if we display pineapple, boom, it does work. Yeah? So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So you see how you can combine object destructuring, array destructuring with variable initialization. Again, be careful with that. Nice. What's the value of pineapple? Pineapple. The pineapple. You sure? Why?
Because you want to take it from the array,
Yeah?
but because it's null, you can get the pineapple which is default.
If you're right, I'll stop recording, I'll invalidate everything I've been talking on the last 30 minutes. Because that completely breaks everything I've been talking about, yeah? Do you agree on that? I mean, I didn't say you... No. I didn't say you were wrong. I said you are literally saying the opposite to what I said in the last 30 minutes. Yeah. So that's you. I hope you are wrong. That's no, you can't. So based on what we've been discussing, yeah, null is still something, even though it's falsy. In regards to the variable initialization, it's something. That means that should never ever happen, and consequently, the value of pineapple should be 0. Null, of course null. Yeah? If we put an empty string, it should be what? Empty string. If we put 0, it should be what? 0. If we put undefined, it should be what? Correct. That's the only case. Cool, fantastic. Yeah? So, yeah, array destructuring. And now I got a question. With objects, it's a genuine question because I don't think that will work. But again, let's try something. Last question of the day. What happens if I got a nested array? You see? I can access sub-array, fruits is about name, right? Numbers. That will work for sure. That should return what? What? 1, 2. Correct. 1, 2 as an array. Fantastic. Bet. Can we do that? Can we nest it now? Oops. So now we have an array of arrays of arrays. Yeah, 3 dimensions, matrix, inception. Can I do that? I don't think so, but. Oops. Oh, he didn't complain. Oh, wait. Ugly, fantastic. Let me see if that works. Oh, that's impressive. It does work. Fantastic. So with arrays, what is inside? Look, we have an array. How many elements my root array has? 1, correct. And that element, what type of data is that? Another array. How many elements that array has? 1, correct. And that element, what type of data is that? An array. How many elements that array has? 2 numbers, yeah? So look at the way you can destructure it. That's pretty awesome because it doesn't matter how complex your array is. Yeah, that you can destructure it. Yeah, of course, if you respect the level. What happened? Yeah, you see, an array. What happened if we do that, for instance? That will return an array of two free elements, yeah, 2 free levels. Yeah, but that's correct. So that's fantastic because you can destructure arrays as much as you want. Yeah. I mean, of course, if you have that data structure, something maybe a bit smelly, yeah, why your data is that complicated. But anyway, technically speaking, it's great, we can handle that. Because the alternative, so let's solve the same problem. And this is my very last point of the day, I promise. So that returns a, yeah. So imagine that you want to get the max number, yeah, of that. So you can essentially do math.max, and then what? Like that? No, why not? Array is 1 and 2 as a single classic array. Will that work or not? Basic JavaScript beginner training.
No, it will not.
Why not?
Spread.
Correct. Thank you, Luigi. You got a 3rd point of the day today. Need to spread it. Yeah. Get sub array equals numbers of 0 of 0 of 0. That will be the equivalent. Yeah. Which again is, a bit annoying. I mean, again, I'm not completely defending that because I believe the data model is wrong, and based on that, it's hard to do magic. Your solution is going to be tricky, anyways. Yeah. But yeah. Anything else, guys?
Why was it 2 instead of 1?
Because the maximum between 1 and 2 is 2. What's the max value?
Oh, sorry, 2 is the max. Sorry, I thought it was
Yep.
And for subarray,
Yep.
is that going to be 1?
No, no, it's 2 again. We did that already, Buket. It's 2. It's the same thing. These two lines are equivalent, completely equivalent. So number 0 will access the first element of the array. That 0 again, it will access the next element. And 0 again, it will finally access the leaf.
Image of the array. Hold on. Okay, and in that case, what is the value of subarray?
The value of subarray is an array of 1, 2.
Okay,
Yeah?
alright.
Because you have an array of 1, 2, you can spread the values and get the max, yeah? I mean, that example is a bit unfortunate. I'm not asking you to understand that. Anyway, just bear in mind that you can do that, yeah? That's the thing, yeah? Ignore the details, you can do that.
Because it's nested 4 arrays.
Yeah?
We call the 0, 0, 0.
Yeah.
And the last one remaining is still an array.
That's correct, that's correct, that's correct, that's correct. What happened if I put another 0? What's the value of subarray? 1, that's correct. And if we put 1? 2. Correct, yeah, that's correct. Oh, sorry, I didn't display anything. Subarray now should be number 2, that's correct, yeah? So again, even though this doesn't have any practical usage, it's good to understand, to get the feeling that you understand how JavaScript works, yeah? To do this sort of things from time to time. Anything else, guys? Luigi Gagwa?
All good, thank you.
Cool, fantastic. That was it for today's, guys. Thank you for watching.